Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Today we're back here with Phantomstrider, and today I'll be ready to lose some weight, or attempt to, because we got the 10 worst fad diets. Yeah, these are diets that probably didn't work, or were just trendy at the time. I mean, that could be dangerous because it doesn't work. Dangerous. Well, let's check out what's the worst. Honestly, I think I remember checking out a few, like, Mediterranean diets, vegan diets, but other than that, fad diets, huh? Then again, I'm like, nah. Anyway, let's check out these fads. Be sure to like, subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy. Let's go.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy.
Food diets can go in and out of trends. And with
True.
the introduction of websites like TikTok and Instagram, crazy fad diets are just as popular as ever. It's respectable when someone tries to discipline themselves to eat healthier, but some of these fad diets are just insane. These fad diets are often not endorsed by health experts, but instead by influencers or celebrities, whether or not they have any scientific evidence whatsoever. These are the diets that nutritional experts will look at and go, by jeebus, no.
Don't.
So let's check out the 10 worst fad diets. And obvious disclaimer, although I've tried to find research backed by health experts and peer-reviewed evidence, take this list with a grain of salt, and always listen to your doctor's advice first. And with that said, shall we begin? Let's start with number 10.
Try to supplement the stuff you're losing.
Detox diet. The word toxins, I really loathe when that word is misused. According to Cambridge Dictionary, a toxin is a poison that exists naturally in an insect or animal, and is often introduced into the victim by biting or stinging. There's a few similar definitions, but notice how none of its definitions are vague bad stuff in the human body that can be flushed out like a toilet with raw vegetable juices. Sadly, according to Healthline, detox diets today are more popular than ever. The detox diet was popular with celebrities like Beyonce, who claimed to lose 20 pounds using a quote-unquote master cleanse. Most detox diets claim to cleanse your blood and remove scary toxins from the body. Typically, they claim this is done through a strict diet of fruits, vegetables, fruit juices, herbal teas, expensive supplements, and water. So immediately,
it's probably those supplements.
Portion of the food pyramid, or the food circle if you're looking at the Australian guide. And get used to this butchering, because destroying a large majority of the food
even accurate anymore?
Is a nasty habit of these fad diets. Eating nutritious whole foods is great, which is what many detox diets encourage. But why do they cut out everything else and make this imaginary detox narrative? I guess sometimes a false narrative about your body containing imaginary poisons is way more interesting than how your body actually
let's just say,
spoiler alert,
if they say it's gonna get rid of toxins, just don't do it, okay? It's not gonna work.
That's what your kidneys are for. That's part of why we drink water. And according to the National Institute of Kidney Disease, you can keep your kidneys healthy simply by staying hydrated and eating a balanced diet.
Water.
Such as whole fruits and vegetables and less processed foods. They also recommend the usual stuff. Don't smoke, limit alcohol, try to get enough sleep, and aim for a healthy weight. That's it. In no place do they say severely restrict your diet on a stupid detox plan. So we've heard the detox jargon from books and salespeople before, but what's the actual science behind detox? Well, according to the National Institute of Health and the Center for Integrative Health,
we found no research to support the use of detox diets for weight management.
Nothing. No support.
From the body. One study found that detox diets can cause initial weight loss because of the low calorie intake, but they often lead to weight gain once a person resumes a normal diet.
In fact, the FDA and federal
you can see what's happening here.
And several companies selling detox and cleansing products, often because they were marketed using nonsense claims that they could treat serious diseases. So personally,
if it's acting like a snake oil salesman, look out.
And for number 9, the cookie diet.
Pardon?
I had to mention this cookie diet for 2 reasons. Firstly, it's been inescapably marketed for 40 years.
Celebrities like Denise Richards, Jennifer Hudson, and Kelly Clarkson have also reportedly tried the cookie diet.
Secondly, it lets me use footage of Cookie Monster. Snack time!
Nom nom nom! My cookies!
The other issue is, it has the lowest scoring diet review I've ever seen on Health. This diet got a 0.79 out of 5. Gee, what is it? Well, basically, you replace all your food with 9 of these stupid Segal cookies every day, sold by the Segal
9?
website for $200 a box, plus a dinner of lean meat or fish and vegetables, which is fine. But what does the research say about a diet of cookies? Well, there are 0 long-term studies on the cookie diet, but it's another case of throwing out a huge amount of food groups. Once again, we're chopping apart the food pyramid or the food circle. You still got some vegetables and meat though, which is good,
keyword
but
some.
you're losing so much variety in your food. And an all-cookie diet means you'll probably have to take vitamin pills to replace all the nutrients you're missing out on. Which, conveniently, they sell on their website
right
as
there,
well.
see?
Plus, you're almost exclusively eating heavily processed food, cookies. Without real food, dieters miss out on essential fiber, iron, and vitamins. But I am curious, what does the cookie taste like? Well, luckily, we've got a few
guess.
reviews
Don't get
online.
sucked
On
in.
Product Review, this is what some people said.
From the moment I took my first bite, I was overwhelmed by an intense sweetness that bordered on sickening.
Spice found them a bit
Oh,
too
boy.
sweet as well.
Why?
I-
Why
oh,
are the
poor
cookies
kitty.
so sweet?
But the reviews were mixed. Some didn't mind the taste.
Mm-hmm.
But personally, I definitely recommend a diet with more
mean-
balance and
Mm-hmm.
variety. Oh, this is a big one. Number 8. Zero sugar diets. Oh, I can't stand this extreme
Isn't it
diet.
fats, not
The
sugars
zero
nowadays?
sugar diet was particularly big back in the 2010s. Multiple books have been written about this diet. Unfortunately, you don't need any expert opinion or education or even basic knowledge to write a book. But some people just seem to assume that if a person publishes a book, they're qualified in everything. As the name implies, the goal of the no sugar diet is to cut out every last tiny smidge of sugar. Unfortunately, just about every basic food has some naturally occurring sugars in it. Not just your glazed donuts and fruity pebbles, but also your fruit and vegetables, the most important food group. Suzanne, a dietitian and medical writer, weighed in on this extreme no sugar approach.
If you cut out sugar, you're cutting out fruit and veggies. This means you miss the vitamins, minerals, and disease-fighting phytonutrients. Plus, you get constipation. Cut out fruit and vegetables and you'll have no fiber in your diet. In other words, you can't.
And speaking from personal experience, I've seen someone have this issue firsthand. Much to my disdain, I had a friend who tried the zero sugar diet. I tried to warn them, but one of those stupid diet fad books had completely convinced them. And unfortunately, they had to go to the doctor when they couldn't poop for a week and had serious blockages. They're alright now after treatment, but they had to introduce fruit and vegetables back into their diet. The thing is that sugar isn't evil in itself. It's the excess of processed sugars that's a problem. So rather than cutting out all sugar, keep the whole fruits, vegetables, milk, rice, and porridge. Instead, if you're trying to diet, try cutting out more of the chocolates, sodas, fruit juice, cookies, fast food, and pies. Your average food pyramid could have told people this in one glance. A dietitian from the Quincy Medical Group weighed in on sugar and fruit, and I think they made a good point.
Fruits contain sugars that occur naturally, but also fiber and valuable nutrients that we should consume every day. Our bodies thrive when we eat fruit.
But you can have too much of a good thing. Speaking of which, check out this next fad diet. It's 7.
We'll get there second, though. Aren't sodas like introducing like the zero sugar stuff now? I mean, I never had them. Honestly, I just never really gotten around to trying them, you know? Just, if you guys had them, let me know what you guys think, huh? I don't know, but yeah. Also, I think I remember there was like an old study back in the day, like, I remember this on Ad Rooms Everything, but was it like a bad, like, was it like I can't remember, it was either sugar or fats that got like people talking about it. Well, this one guy was like, no, this is wrong, but everyone else is saying, screw off, nerd. But turns out he was right. I honestly don't remember if it was the sugar. I'll have to look that up later, but like I said, I'm trying to remember what I remember, but if you guys know, let me know. Anyway, number 7.
The fruitarian diet. No hints on what this fad diet
So,
consists
all
of.
fruit.
So obviously, as we just said, fruit is delicious and good for you. But only fruits? that's not so good for you. Whatever happened to that balance? Anyway,
Where's the iron?
Back in 2012, I actually ran with someone trying the fruitarian diet. They had severe iron deficiencies and they could never compensate with enough bananas. I know a vegan who could never compensate with enough hummus. Anyway, the fruitarian diet consists mainly of eating fruits and optionally nuts and seeds, restricting everything else in the food pyramidal circle. So
Gotta balance
obviously,
it,
this diet has many
not
health
just
concerns.
limit yourself.
Let's see how the registered dietitian Kate weighed in on this
Go
diet.
ahead, Kate.
This is one of the most restrictive diets out there. It's not usually recommended by dietitians because it has a big risk of malnourishment and nutritional deficiencies.
On a fruitarian
Yeah, not good
diet,
for your body
you're very
again.
likely to
Goodbye,
see
kidneys.
vitamin B12, calcium, iron, zinc, omega-3, and obviously protein. In other words, you'd be a mess. We can see a more balanced diet on the nutrition circle or the nutrition pyramid. Fruit and vegetable are among what you should be having the most of in your diet. But there's way other helpful foods such as fish, lean meat, wholemeal cereals, potato, rice, reduced fat milk, and low-fat yogurt. Plus, of course, eggs, beans, and nuts. It's only the top layer of the food pyramid we should be slicing off for better health. And even then, those are okay from time to time. But if it's all you eat, you're not being heart smart. Why do so many of these diets insist on throwing out so much of the damn pyramid?
You know, my country Sweden has some pretty diverse diets.
Oh yeah? What sort of food?
Well, one popular
Oh, yeah,
diet
the
we
Nordic
have here
diet.
is the Nordic diet. It encourages eating a lot of fish, whole grains, oats, fruits, and vegetables. We particularly love our seafood.
Oh, that
I mean, you're on the
sounds
coast.
delish.
Nice.
I like that the Nordic diet isn't super restrictive either. Fish is a big staple of my diet too. There's nothing like a delicious piece of a pan-seared salmon at an Australian dinner.
Herring is a popular fish over here in Sweden. We have dishes like stekt strömming or inlagd sill.
Huh, hope we get to visit and try them someday.
Cool.
This one, number 6.
Next 6.
The Special K Diet, aka the Special K Challenge. A few people mentioned the Special K Diet, so clearly it's made its rounds. Or it's at least been well advertised. For example, Charmella said,
Oh my god, I was thinking about this yesterday. The Special K diet was most popular in the
2000s, huh?
and was marketed towards females.
The advertisements claimed you could drop a jean size in 2 weeks. All you needed to do was eat a Special K cereal for breakfast and lunch, plus a regular dinner.
And get the shape that reflects the way you want to be.
You can probably see the first obvious problem. The diet makes no recommendation whatsoever on what to have for your third meal. So technically you could say my regular dinner is 7 Big Macs, but I'm still sticking to the diet, and the only expert reference you have for this diet is, well, the back of your cereal box. The other problem is there's nothing particularly, well, special about Special K cereal. Meet Kathleen, the nutritionist director for WebMD. She reviewed this.
Go ahead,
Here's
Kathleen.
what she said.
Most Special K cereals are not even whole grain, and they tend to
Processed,
be low in
yeah.
fiber and protein, which is what helps you feel full. Maybe dieters could instead do their own challenge with another cereal, something with high fiber and high protein.
Honestly, it's definitely not the worst fad diet I've seen on this list, as it's less dangerously restrictive than other diets, and at least encourages you to eat fruit with your cereal and get a normal meal each day. But according to Kathleen, most experts don't give it a total thumbs up.
It's too low in protein, fiber, fruits and vegetables.
On the plus side, most Special K products are low in calories compared to, say, having bacon cheese croissants or triple cheeseburgers with fries. But our
If that's your
nutritionist friend
breakfast, you
Kathleen
got a problem.
had stern warning.
You may be very hungry on this diet.
And nothing makes me want to snack more than being hungry all the time. So I can't say I'd recommend this diet. Number 5. The cotton ball diet. I call it a
I
diet
remember
in
this one.
quotes because this is definitely
Basically,
more of a disorder.
you're eating cotton balls.
Just why?
Don't eat it.
Why
By the way,
implying
you're gonna-
Spaghetti Monster's name would anyone eat cotton balls?
And if you're encouraging it, you go to hell.
Obviously, nutritionists do not approve of this behavior and warn that it's dangerous. But how did this insanity start out in the first place? Well, apparently, this disorder originated in the modeling and figure skating industries. Sadly, it even began appearing in some online videos. People would dip the cotton balls in juices or smoothies before swallowing them. This was meant to make people feel full without gaining weight. Dr. Kristen reviewed this phase, and according to her,
Cotton balls are
not food.
When swallowed,
Yeesh,
they can
look.
clog the intestine, just like a pipe
Yeah, they
getting
don't-
clogged. This obstruction can be a medical emergency.
Yeah, it's
Trust me,
goodbye.
an emergency surgery for an obstruction in your gut is no
Not
fun.
easy.
And obviously, there's also a risk of choking and malnutrition. Plus, cotton balls aren't actually made of cotton. Instead, they're made of bleached
fibers, okay?
polyester, which is not designed to be eaten by humans.
So you know that they're toxic?
Yes, they're a taste of the poison, don't eat them.
Don't you eat cotton balls?
Don't you know that they're toxic? Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Yeah, again, like, if you're just promoting this, just stop and just rethink your life, because you're encouraging people to eat something that's not even food, that I think we can all agree, not food. Honestly, it also counts as an IQ test, because if you fall for that, you need to go back to school or something. I know it's harsh, but come on. Anyway. 4.
The Sleeping Beauty diet, aka
Oh.
narcorexia. The king of rock and roll actually promoted this diet way back in the
Oh, boy.
1960s. Elvis Presley kept the diet's premise very simple. You can't sleep if you can't eat. Thank you very much. The singer was infamous for taking heavy sedatives to promote this effect. Apparently, before an appearance, Elvis would take pills to knock himself out, and he'd wake up a few days later. It was a dangerous practice,
Yeah,
encouraged by a Las
basically
Vegas
overdosing.
quack he'd hired. But the approach soon had him falling out of bed and vowing never to try such an extreme weight loss method again. Elvis's quote-unquote diet is actually referred to as narcorexia. And according to Dr. Michael, a sleep specialist,
Using sedatives to
And
trigger
trigger
weight
weight
loss
loss
is
is
unhealthy and
unhealthy.
downright dangerous. Cardiovascular health, mood, and immunity are put at risk by these practices.
while the extreme of too little sleep can be a problem, too much sleep can be bad too. In fact, one study found that too much sleep is also correlated with weight gain, depression, memory problems, and heart disease. That doesn't mean don't enjoy a good long night's rest and sleep in, but obviously sleeping 13 to 20 hours is way too much.
Yeah.
But it's not
Too much of a
sleep
good
that's
thing
the
is a
real
bad
enemy
thing.
in this story. Many studies have shown that a good night's sleep can absolutely assist with weight loss. People who are well rested tend to have less cravings and get less hungry. But the approach of taking sedatives without a doctor's advice is dangerous. And obviously,
Yeah,
it doesn't solve
honestly,
the problem of
you need
unhealthy
sedatives,
eating
you got
habits.
narcolepsy,
In Elvis's
that's what you
case,
needed.
Maybe a few less peanut butter, bacon, and banana sandwiches. And skipping meals completely by sleeping through them is certainly not a healthy answer, as a diet of nothing is never a healthy diet. In Elvis's case, as well as a few
kinda
less of his
shut-
signature
makes your body
sandwiches,
shut
maybe
down.
he should just go for a regular jog or walk with his fans.
work.
Number 3.
Chippy Savile did that.
Carnivore diet. This is like the extreme version of the paleo diet, which limits a person's diet solely to food our ancestors ate 10,000 to 2.5 million years ago. Meats, eggs, nuts, seeds, fruits and vegetables, that sort of thing. But the carnivore diet takes it a step
Basically,
further.
bye-bye
Says
fruits and
all
veggies.
meat, all
Meat
veggies.
only.
I don't personally think this one is as bad as
Yeah.
some of these
Oh,
others,
boy.
but there's definitely some issues. And the carnivore diet
Again,
was requested a
not
lot on
really.
Twitter. For example, Theo told me,
The carnivore diet. Oh my god. All caps.
and Rue responded with,
You get it. I'm tired of it.
I think what these two are sick of is just how many grandiose claims are made about this diet. And yeah, some high-profile influencers such as Joe Rogan and Sean Baker are big endorsers of this diet. The proper carnivore diet excludes all foods it hasn't walked, swam, or flew. And while some meat in your diet is perfectly fine and rich in protein and nutrients, we're once again seeing that
Yep,
bad habit
again.
in these diets of chopping out a huge portion of the food pyramid or circle. And there's some emerging research showing that the carnivore diet dangerously raises bad cholesterol. That being said, there
Yeah.
are some cultures out there that survive solely on meat out of necessity, such as the Inuit people in Greenland or the Arctic archipelago. The way they get all the missing vitamins that meat doesn't have, such as vitamin C,
Yeah, organs,
is
by the way.
eating the entire animal. Meat isn't inherently bad for us, but that balance is important. Generally, throughout history, humans
Seriously,
have been
how do we have to
omnivores
remind
and
ourselves,
eaten both
like,
a plant
again,
and meat-based diet? According to this empirical study on the carnivore diet, many experts have questioned the supposed health benefits of the all-meat diet, though there are plenty of self-reports of health benefits. But an all-meat diet lacks fiber and other essential nutrients. According to a nutritionist on Healthline,
No controlled studies support the claim that it eliminates health issues. The diet is extremely restrictive and no research backs its supposed benefits.
and yeah, that's what concerns me too. There are people that claim that, at least in the short term, the carnivore diet is the best thing that ever happened to them. But there's just no long-term medical research to back these claims. But the carnivore diet does exclude extra processed foods, like cookies, cakes, sodas, pastries, and basically any fast food. So it's not a big surprise that some people lose weight on this diet. But for me, any diet that completely excludes fruit and vegetables, well, that's pretty concerning to me, and I couldn't recommend it.
Yeah, that's a nope.
2. The apple cider vinegar diet and the vinegar diet. The old apple cider vinegar is like liquid gold to some people. It gets recommended in a lot of blogs,
ABC for
and some
6 months.
influencers go nuts over it. Like Megan Fox apparently puts it on everything she consumes. You know, that lady in Transformers? Personally, I've only ever used this stuff for nat traps.
Dish
but the
soap?
diet asks that people take 1 to 2 tablespoons of ACV per day with water. They claim if people have this before meals, a diluted dose of it will help people lose weight.
Probiotic
Does it
boost,
work though?
huh?
Well, as far as I could find, no, it does not.
Of course.
In fact, the National Library of Medicine did a huge systematic review on it, and there was no significant weight loss to report. However, it occurred to me the concoction is so gross and acidic that maybe having it before meals will make a person eat less. The evidence as to whether there's
I guess the
other health
lasting
benefits,
taste might be,
it
but
might be,
still.
it's mostly inconclusive. But there are certainly plenty of online testimonials that it's beneficial.
Yeah,
keep in
but
mind,
again,
it is very acidic
careful
and
what you
not good
read,
for
you know?
As shown in this clinical report of a teenager who got eroded teeth from drinking a glass of ACV a day. Personally, I'd stick to keeping ACV as a delicious salad dressing or sauce. But back in the day, there was a much worse and much more dangerous variation of this diet. The straight-up vinegar diet. A little vinegar on your chips is lovely, but drinking it straight up?
Don't.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
This diet fad goes way back to the 1700s. It was particularly popular among French women.
Yeah,
and sadly, but not surprisingly, it did
Many
result
died.
in some deaths. But the vinegar diet didn't really take off till 100 years later in the 1820s, when the poet Lord Byron popularized this dangerous behavior.
Byron.
He drank a lot of the liquid to reduce his appetite. Unfortunately, this also resulted
Yeah,
in
dental
him
problems,
having
vomiting,
problems.
diarrhea.
He also got vomiting and diarrhea. And in modern research,
Yeah,
we can
nope.
see why. The Department of Internal Medicine in Austria found that high vinegar drinking can have harmful effects, including
vinegar's pretty acidic, so goodbye teeth in it, all that.
A little vinegar on cooking or in your chips is fine. Oh,
And again,
I recommend we leave this silly fad diet buried in the 1800s.
Amen.
Now for some
Dishonorable
dishonorable
mentions.
mentions. The gluten-free diet. Gluten-free just exploded. This one's not on the list because it is useful to a small portion of people, but to everyone else, this is the
most of the people who are
useless
allergic to
but
gluten.
trendy fad diet in years. Entire grocery aisles are reserved for an endless array of gluten-free products.
We got
There's been
organic on my
studies
side.
that
I don't think
unless a
we've
person
seen
has
those
celiac
gluten-free.
disease, they don't need gluten-free foods. In terms of gluten sensitivity, the National Library of Medicine did a placebo-controlled trial and found gluten had no effect on participants without celiac disease, as long as they didn't know they were eating gluten. So unless you're part of the 1.4% of people with celiac disease, you probably don't need to be on a gluten-free diet. In fact, gluten-free products are not only more expensive, but often have more fat and sugar to replace the gluten taken out. Chances are the food companies just want you to pay twice as much for your gluten-free groceries. Oh, the tapeworm diet.
Oh. No.
I know. I'm only mentioning this one because commenters requested it on Twitter. But I'm not elaborating on it because it's gross and I don't want to subject you to it. Very simple version, some tapeworms can be caught and live in the digestive tract. And some people also thought this meant tapeworms eat stomach food. Yeah, you get the picture.
Yeah, no, not gonna happen.
The Sensa diet. This
Sensa?
one was a recommendation from Noenya. As a teenager, they wanted this product, but as an adult, they could see how ridiculous it was. And right you were, Enya, because Sensa got sued left, right, and center for unsubstantiated claims. In fact, over $26 million was refunded to consumers who purchased the weight loss supplement.
Damn.
And given a pack of it was sold for $289, yeah, that seems fair. The Sensa diet actually claims that by sprinkling their flavor-enhancing crystals on your food, you avoid all the calories of that food and lose weight. I mean, if there was, there'd be like a huge revolution in the food science industry. We'd
Pretty
probably
much.
have perfect weight by now. In
How did that
reality,
work?
of course, the Sensa company was lying and the product
Of
didn't do
course.
jack. So in 2014,
Scam.
the FDA hit the company with a $26 million
And
fine,
they're gone.
the company was shut down. So fortunately,
Thank
the
God.
Sensa diet is impossible to do now. The slimming soap diet. This
Soap?
one started back in the 1930s. The hawkers of this product
Do they eat it?
actually claimed that their Fatto nose soap would help people lose weight just by washing themselves with it. Just lather up to slim down. Obviously, this isn't possible, and it just turned out to be your average hand soap. The Vision Diet. Back in the 70s, the
Vision
Kansas
Diet?
inventor Miller created the Vision Dieter glasses. These glasses contain one brown lens and one blue one. Miller claimed this color combo created quote-unquote confusion in the subconscious, and this apparently led to a loss of appetite. Shocking no one, no
Nope.
scientific evidence backed this claim, and Miller never registered his stupid claptrap glasses with the FDA. So our FDA
Yeah,
buddies
so-
forced him to take the glasses off the market. However, it's worth mentioning, empirical studies have shown that color can influence our eating habits, but certainly not to this extent.
And
Yeah,
finally,
but
just
let's
one
just
quick
drop it
honorable
down.
mention.
The Keto diet and the modified Atkins diet. Again,
That
these
works.
two are recommended a lot. Both diets are very similar in having high fat and low carbohydrates, but modified Atkins is less restrictive. And although I had a few requests to talk about this one, I've heard that the Keto and modified Atkins diet can be helpful to people with epilepsy. And I found an empirical study that the modified Atkins diet reduced epilepsy occurrences by 50% in
Yeah, but again,
participants. So I didn't want to
how's
even
for
compare it to some
mostly-
of these much more silly diets when it has a very practical use for people with a medical condition. But if you don't have epilepsy,
Yeah.
I would encourage you to get your doctor's opinion before trying either of these diets. In my opinion, keto doesn't seem like
Yeah,
a
everyone's body's
dangerous
different,
diet,
just-
but it is very restrictive.
okay to
and
try
it's really
out,
hard
but
to maintain long
if it's
term.
not working,
According
just
to Harvard
stop.
Health, some people report the quote-unquote keto flu from a keto diet.
The keto flu includes headaches,
Ooh.
foggy brain, fatigue, irritability, nausea, difficulty sleeping, and constipation.
With those said, on to number one.
Yeah, we
This
can
one's a
kind
stinker.
of.
Number
Oh,
one.
what's a stinker?
The breatharian diet and the air diet. So
Air
seeing
diets?
These fad diets slice out big parts of the
So
food
basically,
pyramid.
no food at
What if
all.
They just dump the entire food pyramid in the bin. The whole thing. Incinerate the pyramid and let them eat air. Embarrassingly, this one was founded in my own country, Australia, and on behalf of Australia, I deeply
Yeah, don't do this,
apologize for this
okay?
level of stupidity.
Don't do it.
The breatharian diet has believed, somehow, that humans could live on air and cosmic sunlight alone. So the dieter was asked to eventually
Basically-
give up food and water.
No, alright. I know that sounds bad.
Thank you.
I know, it sounds
Thank you,
like
Peter.
something out of a crazy sci-fi about plant people. But the idea
Yeah,
originated
Asians from the-
first in
Raiders from
Hindu
the plant.
religious texts, which describe their saints practicing breatharianism, living off quote-unquote prana. The prana program advised followers to gradually convert to breatharianism by first going vegetarian, then going vegan, then going to raw foods, then just liquids, and finally prana. The founder actually claimed this could solve world hunger. Clearly never listening to an actual doctor in their entire life.
The con artist who made the diet actually appeared on a TV show in my country, Australia. She was challenged to actually do what she claims to be able to do and live without food and water. After 48 hours, a supervising doctor found she was acutely dehydrated.
If we let this go much longer, that's going to damage your kidney.
The con artist claimed this was from the quote-unquote polluted air, so they put her in a mountainside retreat 15 miles away from the city. Happy now? But as they kept filming, she continued to deteriorate. She lost 6 kilos and her speech was slowed. I mean, unsurprisingly, the doctor found she was dangerously dehydrated.
Is she entering a dangerous period?
Very much so.
Her pulse had doubled as well,
So-
and she risked kidney failure if she continued, despite the
Let me guess, keeps
still
going?
insisting they were fine. The doctor concluded that continuing the experiment would prove fatal, so they had to stop filming. I mean, she stuck with her bit till she nearly had kidney failure. I mean, I get it. What do you do in that situation?
And of course, nutritionists were calling this
Yeah.
madness. Hell, I think your first year elementary kids were calling this madness.
Tragically, this
Yeah.
bizarre
Oof.
cult has been linked to 5 deaths, and the scientific community has called it a lethal pseudoscience.
But unfortunately, there are a few people who may believe what she says, and I'm sure that's only a few.
Hopefully, any other followers decided to eat or drink something before they passed out. I mean, I can't believe I need to say this to anyone, but humans need food and water to function.
Yeah,
That's like
again,
lesson 1
balance.
in kindergarten.
Sheesh.
I mean, are we even born not knowing that? Personally, I do yoga and meditate every day, but I'm also a living, breathing organism that requires food. Hell, I'll play their religious game. I'm even backed up by Buddhist texts by this. Yeah, these are different to Hindu texts, but like Buddha was the master meditator. Siddhartha, aka Buddha himself, nearly died of hunger while meditating under the Bodhi tree, trying to reach enlightenment. He got so weak while meditating that eventually he fainted and fell. He didn't survive on sunlight and air, he eventually needed food. If a girl hadn't brought him rice and milk, he would have died meditating. And I think it's fair to say the guy's probably the best meditator in recorded history. So if even the Buddha himself couldn't survive on prana alone, chances are this cult needed regular food and water.
The other, less tragic diet was the French-inspired fad diet.
Also known as l'air fooding, or the virtual eating diet. It was promoted on the 2010 women's magazine Grazia. They recommended preparing meals, but not eating them. Instead, you just smell them. They instead had dieters eat a water and soup-based concoction. Well, I suppose that's a step up from nothing.
Basically, cabbage
This
soup.
one's still monumentally stupid. Apparently, the diet was made more popular by pictures of Madonna and other celebrities holding up food to their mouths but not eating them. The idea was that if you dished the food out and smelled it, your brain would supposedly be tricked into believing you had really eaten. And I think they're not giving your brain and millions
for
of
how
years
long
of
though?
evolution
To realize, oh yeah, I didn't eat.
Nowadays, I think Madonna would be horrified if she discovered pictures of her were being used to promote fear of food and such dangerous messages.
Yeah.
On tour nowadays, Madonna even hires people to remind her to take regular food breaks and to give her nutritional advice.
Yeah,
I
food
think that's some
police.
sensible self-care.
That is-
Good on you. Anyway,
You know what's bad when you have to get like people to like remind you to eat.
There's no magic
Oy.
pill for weight loss. With so much information fed to us on the internet, I think what's actually healthy eating can become unclear to us. If you, or someone else you know, is struggling with their weight, perhaps instead of a fad diet, just try a balanced diet. I quite like this basic, straightforward advice from UK nutritionist resource.
Aim to eat at least 5 portions of fruit and vegetables each day. 6 to 8 glasses of water is recommended, but this will vary.
Try to have breakfast every day, as this reduces snacking later on. It's healthy to have at least 2 portions of fish a week. And get active. We recommend 150 minutes of exercise per week.
Pretty straightforward advice. But dieting can be a very personal topic, so feel free to discuss your own experiences in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching, and hopefully I might see you next time.
Yeah, let's be honest. If you're restricting yourself, you gotta take a step back and be like, wait, am I screwing up? I mean, yeah, to admit, like, that would be, like, pretty bad, because, again, if you're restricting yourself, you're kind of killing yourself. That's a quote I think I should try that sometime. I don't know, what do you guys think? You restrict yourself, you're gonna kill yourself. I mean, it rhymes, so it could work, you know. Anyway, till next time, guys, let me know if you tried any of these diets. If so, feel sorry for you. Adios.